Good morning.
Good morning.
Gonna give it a couple minutes for some people to hop on. My thumbs look crooked today.
Do other folks have their power? We're at home without power and kind of a spotty LTE connection, so we turned our video off. This is Ed and Junko.
We were out of power this morning too, so I'm in the office.
Good call. Wish our garage door would open so we could get there too.
Oh, right.
Yeah, funky morning. Hi. Give it about one more minute for people to hop on.
Hey, Ashley, I printed all these out. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good. I hope that you like them.
Yeah, well, I find them helpful just to kind of help with like questions to ask and like just the lingo.
Totally.
You know?
Like, yeah, and like I will tell you though, like it felt like really unnatural to like say it word for word, but honestly, like my conversion rate has gone up since I started saying those scripts like word for word, even though it doesn't feel like it's me. Like there's something about that languaging that's very specific.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And if we get any other like really good ones, I'll just shoot them your way.
Yeah, please.
Definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, if you guys, I will introduce myself and then have you guys introduce yourself. My name is Nicole Larson. I have a team out of the office. I have been, oh, Susan's coming on. Give her 1 second. Okay, I have been in real estate in my 10th year, and I am a mom of 6 kids, 4 adopted. I coach high school cheer, and what else can I tell you? My favorite color is neon orange. So if you guys could tell me a little bit about yourself and what you look to get out of this class. I know some of you guys are buyers agents on a team, and we're going to be focusing on lead generating for sellers today. So just thought of what you want to get out of it, who you are, and what you think of Ignite so far. Who wants to start? Amanda, do you want to go first?
Well, I'm Amanda. I'm part of the Integrity Home Selling team at Keller Williams Puget Sound, and I really liked Ignite so far. It's just given me a lot of tools to use, and I'm a buyer's agent, so yesterday was really helpful for me, just like going through like what questions to ask, and I kind of made my own script for it, and yeah, it was really good.
Awesome. How long have you been in the business? Are you brand new?
About 2 months.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I love Rich and Diane. They're amazing. So very cool. Okay. And so you don't work with sellers at all, but it's kind of good to get the overall view of it. Okay.
Yep, for sure.
Got it. I'm just taking notes. Thank you. Ashley, you want to go next?
Yeah. So my name is Ashley Hall. I am with the My Puget Sound Homes team here at the KW Puget Sound Market Center. I've been just over 60 days on the team with my license. And was there any other questions or anything I was supposed to answer?
What do you want to get out of class today?
Oh, what am I getting out of class today? I think just kind of maybe understanding a little bit more around that conversation of calling. The only like experience I have around that is calling like expires or canceled. So just kind of getting a better idea on like what that conversation looks like with sellers. I've been 95% of my folks been on buyers, so I'm excited for that.
Awesome. Are you a buyer's agent or an ISA on their team?
Buyer's agent.
Okay, thanks, Ashley.
Thank you.
Okay, and Heather.
Hi, good morning. Nicole, I went to one of your career nights like a year ago. But today I am just hoping to absorb as much as possible. I'm just starting brand new in real estate from nursing, and I'm trying to kind of transition out right now. I'm still in the hospital a lot, so just trying to get a feel for doing this.
Awesome. Okay. So transition of nursing. You cut out. You said you went to what of mine?
Oh, I went to a career night of yours.
I thought you looked familiar. I was like, okay. Very cool. Well, welcome.
Thanks.
Okay. Laura.
Hi, so I've been licensed for a little over a month, and I'm just new and trying to absorb every bit of information that I can from this. So
I love it. And you're a single agent?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
And Vicki Chenoweth is my mentor, and
Oh,
she's been really
awesome.
helpful.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that so that way I can follow up with her. Awesome. Okay, Susan, how are you?
Hello, good. I missed the last 2 days, so I feel like I'm really out of it because I was driving. Yeah, I'm Susan Larson. I've been licensed since the end of October, so I guess coming up on 3 months, although it feels like 3 years at this point. I really am loving Ignite so far, and really just want to set a solid foundation for my entire business. So every day has been really helpful so far.
You got it. Well, I didn't teach those other ones, so I don't know what you missed. I only teach sellers, so no worries on that. Okay, Susan put in there, is it Danielle? Is that how you say your name, Danielle?
Hi, yeah. I'm in the car. I just dropped off the kids, so I missed
That's okay.
what we're talking about.
What's your name? Well, I got your name now. We got that. And what are you looking to get out of class today? How long have you been in the business? What do you primary focus on?
Yeah, so I've had my license for 2 years. I was in property management with Windermere before, and then I went on maternity leave. And with COVID and everything, I switched over to sales. And then so getting out of and I'm by myself too. I'm a solo agent.
Okay.
Out of all the Ignite courses, I just want to get like a really good foundation and base to work off of.
Love it. Okay, and was it Ed or?
Yeah, it's, this is Ed and Junko. So hey, welcome everybody. Sorry for the lack of video. We're on a spotty LTE connection right now, no power. But yeah, so I just recently got licensed late last year, and I've been getting into it. We're on a team called Lasting Homes. So there's an experienced agent, Chris Johnson, on our team, and then my wife Junko came over from Redfin as an associate agent. So we're just getting started with our learning journey. What we've done with our team is we've structured it. So Junko's a transaction coordinator, kind of marketing specialist, right? And then I'm trying to do rainmaking with Chris, so being more on the sales side. So definitely excited about sellers, and we're also I'm trying to get us started on the tech side, getting us online leads, and have a lot of questions about what sort of success we found, lack of success, I guess, so far, but the different approaches we're taking to getting seller leads, and we'll interject those in later on.
Okie dokie. I will write that down. Seller leads are a lot different than getting buyer leads, so we can talk about that. And feel free, this is going to be really interactive, so the more there's a lot of role playing, the more you guys can ask me questions, the better, so don't stress about that. I'm here to help. And then Susan, did you want to go now, or are you still dropping off kids? Okay, I will wait. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. How are you guys' calls going? Are you guys able to get a lot of your calls in? Are you guys running out of people to talk to? What does that look like?
I'll just say for us, I've been trying to get, we're running out of folks to talk to. We're actually struggling getting enough leads. So I've gone even to, title companies and different creative avenues to try to generate more lead lists. And we've been scouring all the online marketing, Facebook, Google videos to get that going, and we've run several campaigns with limited success. And so obviously our sphere is where we're doing most of our focus directly, but we definitely would like more leads.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we'll talk about different lead sources. So Ashley's been calling expireds. Has anyone else called, like, dabbled in expireds? Nope. Okay. Okay, we are going to get started then. This is I'm sure all Ignites are 4 hours that they put into 2, so I'm gonna keep things moving pretty fast for you guys. But like I said, don't be afraid to just raise your hand. I'm sure on Zoom you guys have got that figured out now, or just unmute yourself and be like, hold on, slow down. Let me know where we're at. So today we're going to focus on finding seller leads and qualifying seller leads. So I'm sure you guys have seen this, every successful agent, what they do every day. So they lead generate for buyers and sellers. That should be in your schedule first. Make seller listing presentations and get listings. So I don't know if you guys saw, Ashley posted like a CMA a day. That's a great video to watch. Make buyer presentations and get the buyer agency signed, preview real estate. And then running your business, marketing them, showing the houses, negotiate contracts, transaction management if you don't have a TC, vendor management, set goals, compliance, attend trainings, and manage your money. So lots of different things. I think there's a difference of working on the business than in the business as well, and making sure that you guys set time for that is going to be really important as you grow. Okay, so today we're going to focus lead generation for sellers. Not buyers, but just specifically sellers. So understanding the motivation is going to be, to me, the most important thing of why I'm going to go on an appointment or not. A lot of times people will just go on the appointment for the experience. And as you guys are learning, that's completely fine as well. But we spend a lot of time on our team pre-qualifying those sellers prior to going out. And that's just important to us. So your business model is your model. I'm going to teach you what we do, as well as talk about both of those models. I'm going to move you guys over here. So do not call. Obviously, we have to say that for compliance. There is a do not call registry. So just make sure that you're doing that before you're making any cold calls and updating your list. I have an opinion about that. I'm not going to share it, but okay. So finding seller leads. So you have your database. How many people do you guys have in your database?
I have about 50.
50? Okay.
I think I have about 80.
Awesome. Okay. Do you guys have all their addresses? Do you know which ones rent or buy or all that? Okay.
Most of them, yeah.
Most of them. I'm going to really challenge you guys to really focus on getting their addresses. Is it because you don't know how to ask for them, or is it maybe you just, well, let me start with that one. Is it, are you afraid to ask, or you don't know other resources to find it? Don't know if they're renting or buying?
I just have an ass.
Okay.
I would say all of the above. I have some people who I only have their phone, or I only have their email, or I only have their Facebook contact. Like I don't have full contact information on most people.
Okay. So there is a way, if you don't want to ask, to check tax records if they own a home. So that's something that you guys can do, and I can show you at the end how to do that. That's one way to get their address if their home is in their name. Another way is we send out birthday cards to our clients. So you can add them to your preferred birthday list. We do it for our top 50. If you have more than 50 in there, I would focus maybe on a top 10, on a top 20, and then grow it from there so that you can manage it and be consistent. That's another fun way to get their address. But the goal is you want to set them up in Command or whatever system you're using so that they can get a hot sheet of what their home is worth every quarter, because obviously they want to know what their equity is. And so every quarter we call them and just ask them, hey, do you want a free equity report? You want to know what your home is worth? Everyone does. So it's just a way, if you weren't living here in this home, where would you live? And a lot of people might say, well, I'm never moving. Okay, well, if you were never to move, honestly, there's some place that you would go, right? Maybe they want to live on the lake, or they want to downsize and retire, or they want to move up. Like, knowing what your client's next steps are is just as important, in my opinion. So that way you can build that pipeline. If you find that dream house of theirs, you can call them and say, hey, I saw that I know that when we last talked, you wanted to live on the lake. This property just came available. Would you think of, did you want to go take a look at it? because you're then constantly moving your database as one. So I'm going to really challenge you guys, if you're on Facebook with them, just message them. Most people are willing to give up that information, but I would check tax records first if you know that they own a home, because that's the sly way of getting it as well.
I just want to chime in. I'm not able to see your screen. It just says loading. I don't know if everybody else has that.
Really?
Yeah, maybe it's just me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, same here, Amanda.
Okay.
Thank you guys for saying that. Let
Yeah.
me stop share and do it again. Our power is going in and out at the office. Let me try that again.
Yeah. Well, that's coming up. Just a question on tax records. If we have, let's say, a bulk of names, can we work with the title company to get all the tax records, or do we have to go one by one to get them all ourselves?
I'm sure you could. I'm sure a title company absolutely could get you that information for sure. Yep, that is a great question.
So now it's just a white screen.
That is so weird. My goodness gracious.
I guess as long as you tell us what page you're on.
Yeah, I'm at the slideshow on page 6. That is so weird. I've never had that problem before, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, let me try it again. One more time. Can you still see it or no?
Oh, I can see it now.
Okay. Let me put it in. If
There we go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for speaking up.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go back. Yeah, so you can work with title on getting those tax records, or you can look one by one. That's completely up to you. I like to look at tax records, and I know that title can show you too. You know, did they pull out, and it's not going to be very specific, but it's going to be close enough. Did they pull out a second mortgage? Did they refinance recently? You can see that all of on the bottom of the tax records when you do that, but title should be able to give you that information as well. Okay, so we talked about different ways of getting addresses. You can send them birthday cards, newsletters, all different ways of staying in touch with them to ask for their address. When I first started, I had a really hard time calling people I knew versus just calling expireds. But as the time go on, I could definitely see a benefit of making sure that you do call your sphere first, because that's where a majority of our business is from now. So making sure that you're staying in front of them, and we don't call them comparable market analysis, we call them equity reports. So I feel like everyone knows what an equity is in their home if they own a home. And so we ask them, you know, would you be interested in an equity report to find out what your equity could do for you? Because then it's a wealth conversation of, okay, do you want to refinance, take that equity out and go buy an investment property? Do you want to take that equity out and upgrade? You know, what would you do with that extra money? I feel like the conversation is different than them just selling their house. So that's one thing that we do and change it, which I'm sure others do as well. Okay, making sure that you're doing your daily 10-4. How are you guys doing at getting your 10 contacts in a day?
I know that my average is 6 to 7, so I'm behind on kind of behind on that, but I also am in a different position where I'm on a team, so I'm also getting leads, you know what I mean, from different sources too. So I'm not super dependent on that, but I do know that I'm behind on the goal.
Got all that. Okay. And when you're for your team, does your 10 contacts have to be phone to phone, or can it be like text and like two-way conversations, or does it actually have to be phone calls?
Two-way with permission conversation. Like, it's not just me shooting a text somebody with no response, but like as long as there's some response or an agreement of communication. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna challenge you, because I love that, is get in through Facebook and start private messaging people that way as well. I don't know if you've added that, so you have leads coming in, and then you know, start reaching out. There's a thing in bold called DTD2s, which is do the database twice, I think is what it stands for. And there's certain letters every week. I'll send that out to you guys that you guys can reach out to. So like this week, I think it's, I'm going to tell you guys really quick. I think it's R and anyways, it's two, let's just use two letters, for example, it's N and R. So you would reach out to everyone on your Facebook or in your sphere that had the last name N and R. And so I tend to find that a little bit too, like, oh, tell me how it's going through COVID. Do you own a home or do you rent a home? You know, like, how's your work going? All that kind of stuff. Because I feel like those contacts could fill in some of those gaps of the leads coming in and building that database.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. I'll send you guys that list so that you have that too. You can start anytime. It just means that it's an every 13-week cycle. And so those last names, as you're reaching out to them, you know, it's a consistent. So you should be touching them about 4 times a year. That will change your algorithm on your social media as well. Okay, so anyone else having trouble getting those contacts in? No. Okie dokie. So that's another way to get them is doing through the DT-D2s. I'll send out that list to you guys. You can post on your social media asking for a CMA a day. I don't know if you guys use Command. I know Pritchard Dennis has Boomtown. There's a lot. My Puget Sound homes, I'm never going to call them that. Just that. Rich Lucas has a website. So making sure that you guys can post the link from your website to your social media and have it go back to a link of them asking for home evaluation. So going back to those source of gaining those seller leads, Ed, that's another option, is posting a link to that social media with an equity report to your Facebook, to your Instagram, whatever it may be. And that's another way to be in front of people to get some of those and do a boosted post.
Hey, just a quick question. Sorry. So was that a done kind of online ads? Are you saying so a link to an offer, or like a lead form page to do an equity report, or is that's what you mean? Okay. Yeah,
Yep. So like a seller evaluation page where they would put in their address, and you can target certain Facebook specifically. You can do an ad where you're targeting specific areas or a neighborhood or works. I tend to find that if you're targeting like Amazon and Boeing and those types of interests, because there's so much movement with those companies right now, that I get more people clicking on them because of job relocations than I do actually if I just targeting a neighborhood.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, so is there a way to target people in those companies specifically through Facebook? Oh, you can target people in those companies. Okay, I'd be able to target location. I know you can target people within those
Yep,
companies.
you can target works too. Yep.
That's
okay.
A paid ad you're talking about, right?
Yep. Yeah. And you don't have to do a paid ad. You can just put a link on your website, on your Facebook. You don't have to do a boosted ad. You literally can just have a link from your website, which I know Command has a landing page for seller evaluations, and you can post that to your Facebook and just have your friends or family post it in there too. Want to know what your home is worth? Want a free equity report? You know, put the link in there, they click on it, and then they fill that out. And then the contact goes directly into your Command or whatever website that you're using. So those are a couple different ideas to get some more contacts in. We can't do open houses right now. You can do virtual open houses. There's a class on that that a Bellevue agent is teaching. So if you guys want information on that, I think it's this afternoon. Let me know and I can send it to you after class. And then referrals. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So by the way, we're in that one today for virtual open houses, and we have a couple scheduled to do for for our team. And I was wondering if folks had much luck. It sounds great. It sounds like my guess is that more folks would potentially be able to attend if it was well marketed ahead of time. Do you have any tips on sort of broadcasting the virtual open house in effective ways to get a broad audience?
I think what's really important is posting them in Facebook groups, different groups, to make sure that you're inviting a larger audience. So like when you have buy, sell Federal Way, buy, sell Tacoma, or, City of Puyallup, like all those different groups tends to get a lot more feedback on those, as well as like if you're going to do one on a Thursday, start posting on your stories on your Instagram and Facebook on Monday and leading up to it like a countdown.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep, those are just some helpful tips that I've noticed when we've done them. And then referrals. So referrals to me, not only from your database, but from vendor to vendor referrals. So if you're not building that list of your business, you're definitely missing out on a big piece. So, that's another way to get in front of your Facebook if you don't want to just post, hey, I'm in real estate all the time, or your social media. Start in Angie's list. So there's an Angie, you know, where you're like, okay, I need a roofer, I need a plumber, I need an electrician, I need whatever. And then you're building an army of people that are out there for you. So that is where we get a lot of our referrals from. And that's the expectation when we work with someone, that if we're going to send you business, then we expect that you send us 1 to 2 deals a year, and we hold them to that. So I can send you guys out that as well, Angie's list. And just start filling them in. Does anyone have started a vendor program?
We have probably in a less skillful way than you, but we just started finding contractors and other folks for flips. And so what we did is we just started to call them one by one, you know, kind of do some referral agreements. But the Angie's list is great if there's, so I'd love to see what your approach is.
And posting on your Facebook or your Instagram saying, okay, who do you know that's a roofer? So pick a topic each week and then qualify those people, sit down and meet with them, you know, go over what their value propositions are, you know, what is it going to take to work with you, and then building that and staying in contact with them. We do every 90 days a mastermind group with all of them, where we get them all on a Zoom together, obviously not in person right now. And we just talk about their needs and who we can connect to them with. And that tends to be really well too, where we've had painters meet with electricians and they've built this network. So by connecting them, now they're just sending us more referrals for that. So you can do vendor highlights on there where you can interview them and talk about their jobs. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can give back to them. And then in turn, you know, when they're in people's houses working, you know, they can talk about your business and what you can do to help their sellers as well.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Anyone have questions on vendors or any sources of leads that we just went over? Nope. Okay. Okay, so qualifying and converting your seller leads. So you're going to connect to the questions, which are kind of, you know, forward questions if you guys haven't gone over those scripts as well. So if you would tell me a little bit about your family, job, life. So forward is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So when you're talking to someone, you know, you want to know, tell me about your family. How is your job going? Where do you work at? How long have you been there? You know, what do you guys do for fun? Do you guys have any big plans? Any goals this next year? You know, the more you can get to know about them, the better. You know, then going over their wants and needs. What are you looking for? What would that do for you and your family? How quickly do you need to get there? Pinpoint their location, which it sounds like you guys are all really great buyer's agents as well. So you should be able to handle that buy side pretty well. You know, why are you moving? Why is that important for you to be there? When would you like to do this? How do you plan to do this? All of that. So you're really going to qualify them to figure out what their motivation is so that you can determine if this is someone you want to meet with or you need to stick in your pipeline. So I'm sure you guys on teams have different categories. If you're not on a team, this is a great tool to leverage how you're going to categorize them in your database. So
can we go back for a second? Can you tell me how common it is? Because so far this is what I'm running into. People like, oh yeah, I do want to move, but like they're not in a hurry. But boy, if you find that great house for me, then I would move faster, you know, and they also need to sell. Okay. So talking about their timeline and their motivation, you know, how common is that sort of reaction? When people say, yeah, I would like to, because this, and this, and their reasons for moving are pretty solid, but they're not like in a hurry. But they've told me, multiple people have told me, yeah, but you know, if you find that like perfect house, then maybe I'll move sooner. Like they don't want to sell until they find that perfect house. And I've already explained what the seller's market is right now, but do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is their perfect house feasible? Like, is it something that you could find?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. So if they're not ready, when that perfect house comes, how are they going to compete with other offers? Because most sellers aren't looking or, you know, at contingent offers unless their home is ready to hit the market within 5 days or is already on the market. So what I tell them is, why don't we get you ready now? You know, get it ready to stage, get it ready to list. Let's fill out the paperwork. So when that time comes, you can take action. Otherwise, you're not going to be competitive. And that perfect house may not end up being that house for you. And how would that make you feel? And just ask them, emotion makes them act, and just, that's the best thing to do, or they're just not motivated. They think they are, but they just really aren't. And that's the hard part,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I would do whatever you can to get them ready. I mean, and who doesn't need a good declutter in their house? I could use that, right? So, just helping them go through that process. So, and understanding, like maybe sit down and show them the paperwork, and see what that looks like, on a contingent offer. When you're looking at that, document, it does say in there, you need to be ready within 5 days to list your house. Are you prepared to do that if that perfect house comes tomorrow? If they'll even look at that. Most of the time they want them on the market already before they'll look at an offer. So you have to be completely competitive in order to be ready to make that move. Suzanne, have you sat down with them and gone over an equity report with them?
Yes.
Okay. So they're aware of how much money and what they can do with things. Okay. It sounds like you just need to get them ready. So I think that that's a normal fear for everyone, is that they have no idea where they're going to go. Another thing I would talk to them about was, that we can look at doing a rent back. So
yeah, kind of explain that too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you're not just staying in the house. You could do extended possession. I mean, there's so many different things that, if they just got, and oftentimes when they put their house on the market, the perfect house is going to come along. So, and they don't have to accept an offer. So why not just test the market to see what it's like, to see if we can even make this possible?
And if somebody says, I don't want to move till after the school year, it just sounds like too much of a hassle to move during that, do you just go, great, let's touch base in May or something, or, and still keep in touch with them over the time? Or do you try to see if there's something else really holding them back?
I would see if there's something else. I would say, what specifically about the school year is a hassle to you? It may be like, oh, well, the kids have class, virtual learning all day. I don't want to do showings. Great. So if we made showings during specific timeframes for you, would that be easier on you? I only list houses on Thursdays. So, if we looked at just Fridays and then got you guys away for the weekend, go stay in a hotel or do something, most likely if your home is priced right, it's going to be sold by Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then showings. So we're really only looking at, maybe a Friday over the weekend, and if that didn't work out. So I think that they just see it as so overwhelming and they see what's on TV, but I would just narrow down that objection over and over and over again until you get to the heart of what the problem is, because they just don't know what they don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And really the cost of waiting right now is, right now, I'm sure if you look in their market, they probably don't have a ton of competition and everyone else is going to wait for somewhere like them. And so it's only going to cost them in opportunity and usually money, because there's going to be a lot of competition. Because if they're wanting to wait, everyone else is wanting to wait. And are they willing to risk that money on the table in order, to do what everyone else is doing? And just tell them, let's test it. Why don't we test the market right now? And then if it's not something, or if it becomes too much of a hassle, we can take it off and list it in June. So, but right now the cost of waiting is competition. We know right now they don't have any, most likely in most neighborhoods. What's going to happen in May and June when everyone else wants to put their home on the market? Any other questions about that or objections you guys are getting? Nope. Okay. Going back to seller lead categories, you have A, B, and C. So A's are someone you want to put in that are able, ready, and willing to do business in the next 0 to 14 days. So those are people that I've most likely met with that are ready to have a signed agreement. We're just, maybe cleaning up their house or getting it staged or photos or any of those types of things. To me, Now, this one says that it can be someone that you're trying to secure an appointment with as well. So that's going to be up to you how you guys categorize that. Bs are able, ready, and willing to do business in the next 15 to 60 days. Put them in your database, call them every 2 to 3 days, at least once a week. And then Cs, move you guys over, are able, ready, and willing to do business in 61 days or more. So put them in your database and call monthly. That's going to be the most important thing, is your guys' follow-up, because fortune is made in the follow-up and putting together an action plan to continue to follow up with these people, because the goal is to get from Cs to Bs to As at all times. Okay, so we are going to real play your seller leads. I was supposed to move you guys into groups. Let me find you guys really quick. So I'm going to put you guys into breakout rooms, and you guys are going to role play qualifying those sellers. So go back to those scripts in there. You guys have some in your toolkit as well. And you guys are going to take some time and role play those A, B, and C. Let me make sure you guys have that. So that is connect with sellers in your thing on page 5. So your extra materials on page 5 and 6 and 7. Okay, so I'm going to break you guys. Any questions before doing that for your role play? Does everyone have that material?
How much time do we have?
You have 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, ready, go. Welcome back. Ashley, you killed that. Good job, Susan, too. I was like, good job. Okay, we'll wait for, is everyone back now? Okay, so what did you learn from listening, or if you were asking the questions or being the prospect from those connecting questions? What were some ahas from that? Amanda, I'm just gonna start calling on you guys.
Well, I was in one room and then I got bounced into another, so I was kind of in the middle of it.
I don't know why that happened. It like took you in one room. Yeah.
Yeah, but Ashley did a really great job. Just like her flow was very good, you know? And so I think a lot of it comes down to practice. And, you know, I think the script practice is super important. And I know I need to do more of that. So.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah, and questions. I just need to like come up with just all the questions that flow together. Cause like when I'm in that moment, they just kind of leave my head.
Yeah, no, that's a good awareness. So I would print, so in your toolkit, there's a pre-listing questionnaire, and we're going to go over that next and role play that, which is kind of what Ashley did. She took that one step further, which is awesome. There's one of those. We use one in our office too that I'll email out to you guys. And it literally, we call it the blue sheet. Everything is blue for sellers. And you just follow along and ask them, Laura, that's going to be super helpful.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to worry about getting off track because you're like, oh man, what did I ask? How about this next? You know, it's everything's there.
Yeah.
Everything
We
you
do
need.
the same, and it's a lifesaver. We
Yeah,
do the same
I
thing.
knew, I
Nicole.
saw you writing.
Yeah.
I was like, I bet you she uses the same form. I'm sure I got it from you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, good job. Okay, so that's a system, right, Laura? So thank you for speaking up, because it's just, you just need a system in order to do that, right? Like none of us really remember those questions, even being in the business this long. I always forget. So I will literally pull out a blue sheet. I have it neon blue in my office and fill it out, and then buyers are green. So
Is that form
that's just a trick.
somewhere? Sorry,
There
is that
is
form?
one. Yep, no, you're fine. Yep, in the toolkit,
Okay.
which is that link. Yeah, and I'm going to email it out to you guys because mine's a little bit more in depth than this one, and I know Ashley's is too because I could hear her asking some of the questions on the original ones that we use,
Okay.
and we're going to role play that. But it is in your toolkit. But I will email it out to you guys afterwards. I'm going to give you guys everything that I have that pertains to sellers. I'm an open book, so copy it, repeat it. That's what real estate is a literally rip off and repeat business.
Yeah.
Feel free to use it.
Thank you.
But I do suggest making them certain colors, like go to Office Depot, pick up some paper and have those with you. Because in your folder, when you're driving down the road, you can pull over, grab it. You know what it is. It's not just a white piece of paper. So that's why we do blue for sellers, green for buyers, and you can grab that lead sheet at any time.
Okay.
Any more feedback of listening to them or any ahas? Susan, how did it feel being the agent?
Good. I kept trying to get out their motivation and why they want to move and what life will look like once they get in that new space. And then the biggest hurdle was overcoming I want to do this, but I want to wait till spring or summer because it's going to take me a long time to get my house ready. And I don't want to do that in the rain.
Awesome.
So I don't think it's the actual, and even that's kind of what I've heard too from other potential sellers is it's not like necessarily the showings that are the hassle. It's literally the work it's going to take to get ready and the work of actually packing up and moving and starting in a new place. That disruption of life is what they feel like is super overwhelming. And it, you know, depending on the house, it can take a bit to get it ready.
So one of the things, can I ask that? Hold on really quick and then I'll answer that. One of the things that we do is we'll literally pick a list date and then pull out a calendar and work it backwards. So, you know, we'll say, okay, if you get this room done this week, you know, and boxed up and put in the garage, and then we'll do this room and I'll check in with them. Okay, send me pictures. How's it going? Like a lot of that hand holding to get that done. And if they can't do it, there's a vendor that we can help them get organized and packed up. You wouldn't believe how many organization companies are out there killing it right now because people want to declutter. They saw that show on Netflix about, I don't remember what her name is, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of people out there that can help out with it. So, okay, go ahead with your question, Danielle, sorry.
No, that's okay. So I have a question. I have a seller and a buyer, I guess. So they're going to sell their house and they're going to buy another house. But right now they want to sell because obviously the market's crazy for sellers, but they kind of want to wait because they're deciding if they're going to do a construction loan or if they're going to do like a renovation loan. So their next home wouldn't be ready to move into right away. So what's the solution for that?
So oftentimes when I've had people that are going to build or do those types of things, they've rented in the meantime. They've moved into like an apartment and rented, which isn't ideal. But depending, you know what I mean? Like it can be a short-term rental or an Airbnb or those types of things, just because construction loans can take up to 6 months. And the most important thing is they probably need their money now in order
Yeah.
to do that. So I would just look at short-term rentals and just explain to them, you know, that it could take longer than 6 months. And that's the worry, right? Is we know
Mhm.
what your home is worth now. We don't know what your home is going to be worth in 6 months. And in
Yeah.
order to accomplish this, you need to take action so that, but here's some things I've come up with. We could do a rent back for probably up to 60 days, you know? So we just bought yourself 3 months with being on the market and then closing, you know what I mean? And then if you should have a good idea by that time where you're at with your construction or your renovation to know, do I need to get a place for a year? Do I need to get a place for a month? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
by that time you can put that together. But rent backs are so common that I think it's hard to figure out what their next step is going to look like without putting their first step into action.
Okay. Thank you.
Another
Go
that was
for
great.
it.
Another question. Another question about the home evaluations these days with COVID, and we've had the idea of doing them over Zoom. Is that in other words, to basically say, hey, here's how easy this is. You know, schedule, and maybe you could have more openings. You could basically ask the seller to, you know, kind of Zoom us through certain parts of the house, and I know it may not be super convenient to like Zoom from a crawl space and those kind of things, but is it a thing to try to allow for online doing this over Zoom?
Yeah, we have a virtual home selling program. I can send you guys out that information where it literally is just pretty much saying that you do things over Zoom. So, and they can walk you through the house, all those types of things. I tend to find that people are okay with going in there, but having that option sets most people at ease because you're going to get those onesie twosies that do want to do it over Zoom. I don't go in people's crawl space or look in their attics. Depending on how long they've lived in the house, and I've asked them like, hey, have you had anyone check your crawl space out lately? Or, you know, when's the last time you've been in your attic? I would suggest a pre-inspection because when people have lived in their homes 30 years, and we all know Washington is full of critters because of our lovely weather, that it's really important to overcome that ahead of time. So that's when I would suggest doing that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
If you have a program, that'd be great. I'd love to look at the details of that. Thank you.
Yep, I can send that out to you guys. I'm making a list. Virtual presentation. Okay, any more questions before we move on? So last one, what do you think is a best practice for cultivating leads from sellers that are on a C scale? So how do you stay in front of them to cultivate them? What are some suggestions you guys have?
Like monthly newsletters.
Monthly newsletters, I love it. Okay. That's a great way to stay in front of them.
Birthday cards, retirement cards, kids' birthday cards.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Facebook commenting.
We continuously like send them updated like CMAs, things like that, depending on how far out they are, so they can kind of watch that growth. Because usually when they start to see like those big jumps in equity, they are a little bit more like they might improve their timeline. Like we've been seeing that a lot. Like a lot of our clients are like, oh, June, and then we sent out a bunch of CMAs. They're like, okay, maybe like March. You know what I mean? Because they see the value. So
yeah, absolutely. That's important too, right? Because we can predict what's going to happen now. We don't know what June's going to look like, right? And that's I think this is just my judgment, is that most people are having a hard time trusting people right now just because of the society that we live in, no matter what you believe in or what it happens. And so, you know, they're fact checking everything. So being able to send them that monthly CMA and see that progress, it's not just you telling them, but it's actual data. I feel like people are more apt to make a decision because you have something to back it. So Command can do that. Any database that you're working with should be able to do that, or you can do it manually if you don't have a ton of people in there. So it's only going to help you as well. Good idea. Anyone else have any ideas to stay in front of people besides calls and texts? Okay, those were all great. Okay, moving on. So we, in your little booklet on 7, my screen is not sharing anymore, so we're just going to do it this way. So connect to ask for the business. So there's 13 different ways to ask for the business, and they typically say you're going to get 5 no's before you get a yes. So the more you can practice these closes, the better that you're going to be able to convert those into an appointment. Let's meet. Can we meet today, or would tomorrow be better? Would it be okay if I got you some information to look over and then we can meet to discuss? I have these laminated and printed out in my office, and stuck on my screen. So any way that you can keep these in front of you are going to be really important. When you guys read these over, which one sticks out to you the most that is like yourself?
I think the first one is always like, I'm like, let's do this. Let's get this done. I'm go, go, go. Like I'm a hard
Yep.
closer. That's like me and Ashley were talking about where the sales that we come from. That's what it is.
Yep, me too. That's what I was going to say. Let's meet. And then usually the number 6, the direct close, can we meet today or tomorrow? Would be better.
Yeah.
That's just another way. I have a 3 o'clock tomorrow or a 5 o'clock on Friday. Which one you want? Like, that's kind of just my personality. So, and that the alternate, yeah, what works better for you? Meeting today, sometime this afternoon, or tomorrow morning? I always push my appointments at least 24 to 48 hours out. So that way I can run numbers, look at a CMA, you know, drive the neighborhood, whatever it may be. I'm not typically meeting someone same day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another helpful hint. Thank you guys. Okay, so now we're going to go into kind of what Ashley already did with you guys, which is pre-qualifying your sellers. So in your pre-listing questionnaire, in your toolkit, which was a separate thing, has the questionnaire in it, and it is on, it's after open house checklist. Does everyone know where that's at in their toolkit? I know some of you guys didn't print things, so it makes it hard. So I'm going to keep you guys all in one group this time, and I'm going to have 2 volunteers that are both going to be agents and 2 prospects, and I want to hear you guys both learn how you're going through this, and then I'm going to do one with you guys as well. So can everyone find the pre-listing questionnaire? Do you guys see that?
I don't know why I don't have that, but I don't have that here.
I will then pull this over here and see if I can show you guys out of the other slideshow, because that.
I'm not printing either. And every single time I am clicking today on the Ignite toolkit, it's not letting me open it.
Weird. Okay. Can you guys see that now? I just pulled up. Okay. So this is what it looks like in your pre-listing questionnaire. So this is what I would have in your office in a different color. Mine's a little bit different. Like I said, I'll send that out to you guys. So who wants to be the agent? I'm going to pick someone if you guys don't choose. Ashley, do you want to go again? Sorry.
Sure.
Okay. Let's have Amanda. Do you want to be the prospect?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay. So we're going to go through the pre-listing questionnaire. Ashley, if you have one that's different, you can use yours as well, because I just wanted them to hear the language and the questions that are being asked. And then I want everyone to share one aha, and then we'll have another role play doing again. Okay, go for it.
Cool. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello,
Hi, is this Amanda?
this is her.
Hi, Amanda. This is Ashley with My Puget Sound Homes. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good, good. Thank you so much. Hey, Amanda, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to reach out. I saw here that you were thinking about listing your home a little bit. Sorry, I'm in a shared office. Listing your home a little bit earlier last year. Did you have an opportunity to get your home on the market?
No, you know, we had some fixing up to do, so we just wanted to get that done before we did list it.
Absolutely. I completely understand. And sometimes those little changes actually can make a huge difference in your listing. How are you doing on some of those upgrades?
Doing good. You know, we're almost finished. Probably in the next month or 2 we'll be done. So.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Wonderful. And then are you wanting to get your home on the market as soon as you get those done? Did you have an idea on the timeline?
We're thinking probably springtime. We'd like to be in something by summer. And I know a lot more houses go on the market by summer.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Amanda, you're usually totally correct about that. Summertime's a great time to make those transitions, you know, with school years, different things like that. I do just want to let you know that with this year, especially with, you know, COVID and everything, things are just a little bit different. You know, a lot of people are doing like remote learning and remote work. So we're anticipating that this market's going to be pretty strong all throughout the year. my next question for you, Amanda, is going to be, what's next for you and your family? Is there anywhere in particular that you're looking to go?
We're not quite sure. We just want to have a little bit more property than we have now. So we're thinking we'll probably move a little bit further south than where we're at.
Sure, absolutely. And is there any particular need for the property?
No, we just want more space. We've got a dog that is he's kind of become a house dog, so we want more room for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to keep everyone in the family happy, even our four-legged friends. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then Amanda, with your home, are you going to need to sell that home that you're currently in to buy your next home?
Yeah, we will. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. And then I know when you were talking about listing last year, did you have an opportunity to speak to a lender at all to kind of see what exactly you would need?
We haven't made that step yet.
Oh, okay. Is there any lenders that you were thinking about working with, or would you be open to some recommendations?
I'd be open to some recommendations.
Okay, perfect. Here at My Puget Sound Homes, we actually have an amazing team, and we actually have a couple of really great lenders that we love to work with. I've actually had 2 family members work with one of our lenders here specifically, so I would love to send that information over to you. And then with that, is there time today or tomorrow for one of our lenders to reach out to you?
This afternoon I'm available.
Perfect. Alrighty, Amanda. So her name is Debbie. I'm going to send you her information, and that way you can kind of see her picture, see who's calling you, kind of get familiar with that. And then my next question for you is, I know that you're still doing some upgrades to your home, but when's the last time you had somebody come through and kind of just do a walkthrough and do evaluation on your home?
We haven't had that done.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I think I might be a little bit ahead of myself. So what we like to do here with our team is just do a quick walkthrough. We just go through the house, we run a little market analysis, see what houses like yours are selling for in the area. And we put together a little packet basically saying, this is what we think that your home would sell for today as is. And that way you kind of have a rough idea of what to expect when it is time to list. It's no obligation to you, no cost to you to do this. It's truly just informational. It does take about 15 to 20 minutes overall for us to do that whole presentation. I do have time on Thursday this week. I have an appointment in the morning at 11, or I have a 4 o'clock. Do either of those times work for you?
Yeah, the 4 o'clock will work.
4 o'clock? Perfect. All right, wonderful. And so, Amanda, I just wanted to recap really quick. I know it was a lot of information. So I have Debbie reaching out to you today. And then on Thursday at 4 o'clock, we're going to be doing our walkthrough. So what I'm going to do on Wednesday, I'm just going to shoot you a quick text in the evening, make sure that Thursday still works for you. And then from that point, we'll do the walkthrough. And then Amanda, what we like to do is usually give you the weekend just to kind of look over the information and recap your conversation with Debbie, kind of look over that CMA that we're going to provide for you. And then on Monday, I would love an opportunity to reconnect with you and just see how you're feeling about everything.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Perfect. And Amanda, is there anything else that you think I need to know about you, your family, or your home before we jump off the phone?
I don't think so.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much again, Amanda, for your time. I really do appreciate it, and I really do look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Great job. Speaking like a pro.
It's so good.
That
we
was
literally
so
script
good.
all day.
That was amazing.
We just script all day.
Yeah, that's good though, because that makes you comfortable. Like now you own that script. It's not, there's a big difference. And you recapped that. I was share my ha. That was the best part, was that you recapped everything so they know what to expect next.
That's what I wrote down too, was the recap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Amanda, how did it feel as the prospect?
It was good. Yeah, she did a really great job.
What would you take from what you learned to put it into your business?
From just the script, you mean? Or just well, I'm more of a buyer's agent, so I haven't really touched on this yet. So it's just about learning a new script, and what questions to ask. So
absolutely. Good job. Okay, Danielle, you shared yours. Did you have any other feedback you wanted to add to that?
The same thing that I said on the last one was I really liked how she closes and says, I'll give you the weekend to think about it, and then we'll touch base on Monday. I think that really puts people at ease, and you're not, again, with the hard close going like, let's do this now.
Yeah.
let's do this now.
Yep.
And just to like share with you, so we do that here a lot with our team, but I'll tell you, like, we set appointments, like I would set an appointment for my lead listing agent to go out. But to be honest, like I preface it that way, but like usually when he goes out, they get the CMA, they're like, oh my God, my house will sell for this. And then they agree right then. Like they don't usually take the weekend, but it's always nice to preface it because like we talked about, Danielle, like it's my high D and learning how to temper that down to like accommodate a C or an S has been like my biggest challenge. I'm going to be just dead honest with you. Like that's been my biggest struggle is learning how to temper down that high D. Even though I trust my team or, you know, even trust in myself that I'll close the sale, like once you're person to person, but not leading with that hard sale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's my biggest issue too, is that. So that's good that you're aware of that. Laura, what was your feedback from it?
Oh God, I just feel so behind when I listen to her talk. I mean, I feel like I want to record that and then like just practice it over and over. Like just, she's so good at the comebacks and like bringing back in like at the very end, like anything else do I need to know about your family? You know, she was just really good. She should teach a script class.
I love it.
Do the class with Lindsay. They do really great scripting. I think they do it like twice a week. The KW training, is that right, Nicole? They do like scripting class.
Yep.
I think it's like 4 times a week at 1:30 or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think they
I would
increased
do
it.
that.
Yeah, that is
I would
really
totally
cool.
take advantage.
Hey, Ed, what was your aha?
Yeah, all of the above. I mean, I'm about to say the same thing about replaying Ashley Daly to kind of get that script down. But I'd say a really organized recap was really what I was taking notes. You know, the actions, appointments set, and next steps. I think just that really clear and succinct recap was really good.
Awesome, love it. Susan, what was yours?
I had a bunch and now they've like gone out. Shoot, there's a really good one too that no one else has mentioned and I don't remember. I don't know, all of the above. I did like all the questions she asked, obviously. Oh, I know, like this is what it was. When's the last time you blah, 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 right? So when's the last time you had someone come through and look at or, you know, like discovering, oh, they haven't even done that yet. Like the buyer hadn't, or the person hadn't even talked to a lender yet about their next thing, or they haven't had it in like not appraised, but inspected or looked at or anything like that. Like some things I might assume they'd already done, but they hadn't. So asking those kinds of discovery questions, I thought were really good.
Yep, absolutely. And
So
one of the things, yeah, go ahead. Ash.
Nicole. Oh, I was going to say, I strategically ask assumptive questions that I actually kind of already know the answer to, even though I know the answer is no, or it's never happened. And it leads me more naturally into the conversation about like what a CMA is, or when's the last time somebody did a walkthrough of your home. I don't know if they ever did, and there's no notes saying otherwise. I just say like, hey, you know, when's the last time you had that happen? I know probably most times that's not ever going to happen, but it's an assumptive question that leads you into that conversation naturally. Like I don't like to sell. I like to have a conversation that's like very targeted. And so that helps me go from like the sales aspect of being like, I'm going to do these 3 things for you, to be like, just to open that conversation up and to dive more into it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And one of the other things I was going to add about that too is, so they're doing a renovation or repairs. How do they know that they're going to get that return back on their money? So, you know, I would specifically go into those. Hey, last time we spoke, you said you were doing this, this, and this. Has that changed? You know, if they're like, well, I want to put in these new countertops, I have granite, but I don't like the color anymore. It's like, okay, hold on. Time out. Let's, you know, let me get out there tomorrow to see before you decide to spend more money on something that won't even matter, because a market 6 months to 9 months ago may be different than it is now. And you might not even have to do those repairs to get what you need to get out of the home.
That's actually a question that's really been on my mind lately, and not that you can answer it now, but I want to know, where can I learn about how much more value something will get for them to make upgrades, right?
I second that.
I've been digging around and cannot find trainings on it or something like that.
Okay.
Laura McCluskey, isn't she doing one?
Yep, I was just gonna say that. I was gonna send you
did?
guys out the CMA class. Have you guys taken her class?
There
on
is a recorded one of the one she did in the fall, but I think she's doing another one in the next couple of weeks or something.
22nd? Yep.
Oh,
on the
okay.
22nd. Yep. So, but there is a recorded one that will give you some ideas on upgrades and what that's going to bring the most value. Another trick, Susan, that I use, look at all the houses that sold in the neighborhood. What materials do they have and what homes sold faster, and call the agent. Hey, did you get feedback on that the bathroom wasn't updated? Was that a big draw for buyers? You know, like do that research. Most other agents will give you that information, you know, because, you know, the bathrooms were updated, but the kitchen wasn't, you know, do you think you would have been able to get more money for that home if it was?
Okay.
If you're looking for that class, I don't know that it's on the YouTube channel, but if you search on the Facebook group, you'll be able to find it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send it out to you guys in a link. It is on there, but it is hard to find. So I will send it out, but she is teaching another one on the 22nd. So, okay, who did not share their ahas? Sujin, did you have any ahas?
I just like how it was, she had a really good flow. I think I need like a list of questions to ask because I'm kind of like all over the place. Yeah, so just having it organized and then recap at the end and kind of sounding like you know what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm going to send you guys that sheet too that goes into a little bit more detail. Alec, did you have any feedback? Are you in the same office as her? I know you're in the same team, but I didn't know if you guys were listening from the same spot.
I didn't share mine. The ones I had were flow and recap, but I also said setting. She was really good at setting expectations.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So we're going to do one more and listen to someone else go. So who wants to volunteer as the agent? You can literally ask the questions on the screen. You don't have to use some of hers.
I have a question. So what was, after you introduce yourself, you probably say, so hi today. After that, what's the first question to get into and wanting to list their house?
Laura, you kind of cut out. I got bits and pieces of that.
I was just wondering what the first question was to like lead to them wanting to list their house. Can you hear me now? Okay.
It's kind of like an echo.
I think she's asking like, what's that first like transitioning question to open up like you're wanting to list your house conversation? Like say it's like a completely brand new seller lead. Like, is that what you're thinking, Laura? Like, what's that first question that kind of gets you into that listing conversation?
Right.
Yeah, so a couple different things. Thank you for that, Ash. A couple different things on our blue sheet. So I would have already talked to them, whether it was an expired or I'm circle prospecting or they came into an open house. I want to go just straight into their motivation. So why are you moving? Why do you want to put the house on the market? Where are you moving to? How soon do you need to be there? I have a couple other questions on ours. What happens if your home doesn't sell in the required amount of time? That's another one that I can kind of, get that. Is it a job relocation? Are you thinking about selling it yourself? So those are those questions that, we're on here too. Where are you moving to? What's motivating you to move there? I want to get the motivation out first. And so when they say, okay, I want to meet with you, then I'll say, okay, well, can I have another 10 or 15 minutes? I want to go over some clarifying questions so that when we go out there to meet with you, or I should say my listing partner goes out there and meets with you, I want to make sure that, we're best prepared to go over the most important things, which are your goals. And then I'd go into the questions on the blue sheet. I call them a blue sheet. They're a pre-qualifying sheet. So, okay. I'm going to pick someone if you guys don't speak up. Okay, let's see. Or do you want to be the agent? Can you talk now, or is it still kind of out?
Now that my connection's bad.
I think it's kind of still bad. Okay, so we'll go. Let's see. Ed, do you want to be the agent?
Sure, I'll give it a try.
Awesome. Okay. And Danielle, you want to be the prospect? You guys
Sure.
are the best. Thank you.
Ring ring.
Hello,
Hi, is this Danielle?
this is her.
Oh, hi Danielle. This is Ed from Lasting Homes. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. I was calling just to follow up on a previous conversation we had about perhaps listing your home soon, and I was wondering if you've still plan to do that sometime soon.
Yeah, I've still been thinking about it.
Is that right? Yeah, this year's hopefully a better year than last year, and I think that we're expecting it to be pretty strong in terms of home demand. Have you thought any more about kind of where you're planning to move to?
No, I think it's still the same. We still want to be on the lake. That really hasn't changed.
On the lake, yeah, I'd love to do the same. That's great. Is there anything in particular other than obviously wanting to be out on a nice scenery that is motivating that?
Yeah, so we've got to, did you say is motivating that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the lake. I mean, there's maybe the obvious piece, but is there anything else motivating it now?
No, I mean, just our friends live on the lake and I'm tired of driving out there every day during the summer.
Friends are a good thing in these times. I hear you. Do you and, for this one, are you planning to sell your existing home then before buying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And so in that case, do you sort of have a plan to do that, or are those do you need any help sort of thinking that through?
No, I don't have a plan.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of folks, they'll have we'll do a work back, schedule with them to sort of take some of that stress away in terms of when those dates need to happen, and even do a rent back. And so a lot of folks these days have can kind of do that in step. On the financing side, have you been pre-qualified?
No, I haven't talked to a lender or anything yet.
Oh, okay, great. We have some lenders that we recommend that we work with a lot, and I'd love to give you their contact information if you consider them.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. That's great. And then I guess the other things are there things around about the house that you're looking for in particular, aspects that are important to your family?
We've got a big family, so we need 4 or 5 bedrooms. I need an office to work in. My husband needs a man cave. Kids need a playroom.
Right. The usual, right?
The necessities.
The necessities, right? Okay, great. Yeah, there's a lot of, as you probably know, the market is extremely, the inventory is extremely limited. So, getting out there, early is good to sort of see what's out there. Have you done a recent walkthrough of the house to sort of see what your home might currently be worth, or what it would look like on the market as is?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Would you be interested potentially in doing one? It's something that it doesn't cost anything, and there's no obligation to work with us afterwards, but it's something that will give you at least a peace of mind and some information to move forward.
Sure.
Okay, great. Well, I've got tomorrow, I've got 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. open. It'd be like about a 20-minute little visit, and we can do it, COVID friendly and safe and everything. I'd love to do that with you and give you that information.
Sure. 3 o'clock works for me.
3 o'clock. Okay, great. So, here's what I've got: I've got a lender recommendation I'll get out to you today, and I've got you in the books for 3 p.m. tomorrow. And then typically, what we'll do is we'll give you some time, a couple days or whatever it takes to look at the results of that report, and then see how you feel afterwards. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much, Danielle. We'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks. You too.
Great job, everyone. Woohoo. Okay, so give me some feedback. Danielle, how did it feel being the prospect?
Good. I like it's a question that's on there, but the motivation to move, like when he asked me that, it really made me feel like, okay, how did I feel last summer driving to my friend's house every single day from Renton to Lake Tapps? You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, that puts me back in. That's a 40-minute drive, in traffic. So
yeah,
I don't want to do that. Let's get going before summer hits.
Absolutely. I love that. Yep. Emotion makes people act. So
Mhm.
good job on that. And I like that you asked Ed even qualified that more. Like you know, now she's talking about the kids' bedrooms and a playroom. And, you know, you could even ask like, how is that working? Is everyone home with COVID right now? Like, you know, I'm
Yeah.
sure that space is important to you.
Yeah,
With
dig deep on
everything,
that
because now
that pain.
Yep, every time the kids are not in their playroom and you're trying to work or whatever, you know, that may be a pain point to be like, okay, I really need to get this done.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
okay, Ashley, what's your feedback?
I really liked it. I think that, like, honestly, Ed, because I've like done this obviously the last like week and a half with you and doing like different role plays, like you know what to ask. Like you actually have like these questions down, like even your scripting, use like that confidence, like ask that question confidently. Like your seller, this isn't what they do for a living. Like you're the expert, and I guarantee you, even being brand new, the fact that you took the test and passed, like you know more than they know. So just believing that when you pick up the phone, like you ask all the right questions. Like I don't really have feedback, you know what I mean? I think it was great, honestly. It's just that confidence, like asking your questions more punchy and not so. If you're, you know what I mean? Like I'm always like, if you're open to recommendations, but there's a difference between saying it open, like confidently, versus being like, if that's something that you want to do, you know,
Right.
just
Yep.
yeah. Like you're the shit, Ed. Just own it. Just accept it. You're really good at what you do.
I have to visualize in my head when I do it, but yes.
Yep. Get something on your forehead or on your screen that says you're the shit, Ed. Just do it. That would be perfect. That's your new saying.
There you
Oh,
go.
I love it. Laura, feedback? Hi, Larissa. I see her in the back.
I'm here. I feel like I have terrible reception right now, so yeah, it's just more learning other people's styles and kind of just I gotta figure out my own style, you know. And like even when I get the question down, it's like the conversation in between the questions also.
Yep.
You know, seeming like you really care about their life. You do care about their life, but getting that kind of drawing just more of a personable relationship besides just the questions.
Absolutely. Good aha. Okay, Esther, what was yours?
I'm wondering, Ed, if you've ever used the question, like if you've ever done a summary before. Like I noticed that you said, here's what we got. We're doing this and this and this. Did you take that from the previous one or from the previous example, or have you been doing that before?
I kind of do that. I mean, I do a lot of meetings at work and things, and so that's kind of the normal way I close out something. But I like the way that I thought the structure was a little bit bumpy the way I did it. I think Ashley's was better, so I'm trying to work on that. But I do like to do summaries. Yeah.
No, I just liked how you adapted and you're trying to make it your own, and just you're going to figure out that flow of how it comes from you.
Right. Appreciate that.
Love it.
I had one question, like,
Yeah,
do
go
we
ahead.
assume that most people would know what a rent back is?
No.
Yeah, so that would be the one thing, like, I think
Yep.
we throw CMAs and rent back and stuff like that, and we can come from contribution a little bit more. And I don't know how to do that necessarily either. I need to figure out that flow, but just like
Right.
being aware of the things that they might not really know what we're talking about.
Right. Yeah. And I think actually did a really good job of sort of using, just very simple language and not the lingo there. And that's a good point. Yeah.
Love it. Good point.
I have a question. Have you ever
Yep.
started with, before you kind of launch into your questions and stuff, maybe an introduction like, I want to really, let's say, ask you some questions so that I can be best prepared to meet your goals. But before we start that, do you have any questions for me? I want to make sure and cover your questions as well. Do you ever start with something like that, or do you just say it at the end?
I usually just ask at the end, is there anything else that you would want to cover at your appointment? There's a few questions on mine that Ashley doesn't have on hers or that aren't in the example, that when I role play, you guys will hear in the script. And so not very much different, but just a few to get those, and then asking at the end, before we meet, are there any other questions? And, what's going to be your main goal of sitting down and meeting with me?
Okay.
Yep.
And then I had another question just
Yep.
off of Ed, but just more of what you guys do. Do you do the lender introductions? Because like I've just sent people a list of, hey, these are the people I recommend. Do you do an actual lender recommendation, or do you have the lender call them? Like, how do you do that?
I always get permission to ask, and what I will do is, depending if they're text communication or email communication, I will send a intro through that. So I will either CC them on an email with the lender and letting them know what the expectation is so that they have all the contact information, or I will do a group text with them and having the lender in that text as well, sending a picture of the business card in that text so that they have it and then an expectation of when to call.
Cool, thank you.
Yep. Is that what we do too, Ashley? I think our systems are very similar.
Yeah, either I get the permission and I either will set like a hard appointment if depending on the client's schedule, or if they're like pretty open, just a phone call anytime after X amount of time. But sometimes like if they're extremely motivated, I just send a email to my client and to my lender, and I just do like a warm intro. I'm like, hey, Nicole, this is Debbie, who I was telling you about, amazing lender. Like I said, we love working with her. I just wanted to connect you so you have her contact information, and then Debbie takes it from there.
Yep.
And so doing little things like that help keep the rapport across the board too.
Mm-hmm. And I find oftentimes it's harder to connect the lender than it is actually connecting myself, because that's usually the fear in it is the documents. So I'll even attach like a thing that says, here is a list of the things that they're going to most request from you so that you can start to get these prepared in there that the lender has sent. So I know Debbie has something like that too, to attach in there, whether you're a buyer, in that you're selling or buying, those documents are still going to be needed. So
I had a quick question on that. Does anyone recommend KW Mortgage? I've seen some posts in the Facebook group, maybe to not, but I know we have that. Is that a better customer experience if we have it, not really in-house, but sort of with our KW Mortgage group?
I don't. It's not that I've had a bad experience. My husband's a lender, so we just refer everything to him. But I know people have used Keller Mortgage, and specific people have been great. I think it's just going to determine, do they need closing costs or not? So we always recommend our top lender, but I'll always say, this is who we work with at the top, but Debbie's our second, and then here's our third, which is Keller Mortgage. Feel free to interview all three if you should, and then go from there.
Got it. That's nice.
Because you're legally supposed to recommend 3. Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Oh,
I just will always tell them. I always will tell them I prefer to use this person, but you should always be recommending 3.
Got it.
So. Okay. Any more ahas? There's a lot of just role playing today. I think this is the most important thing is this. If you guys can get the pre-listing lead sheet down, hands down, you guys, what your appointments will be so much better on buyer and seller side. So, okay. Any other feedback that you guys wanted to share? Sujin, did you have anything that you wanted to add on Ed's?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Who wants to be the prospect with me? Susan, you want to be the prospect? You just look ready and available.
Sure.
Awesome. So I call a lot of expired listings. So that's what we're going to pretend. And you just are going to, sorry. We have the appointment set. So now I'm just going over the pre-list questions. So I'm already on the phone with you. So Susan, I am really excited to meet with you Thursday at 5 o'clock. Before we meet, I want to go over for about 10 or 15 minutes some qualifying questions so that way we can set the appointment up correctly and we're going over your goals. Does that sound good?
Sure, that's great.
Awesome. So I know you mentioned that you were possibly going to still stick with the same agent and interview them. Is that still something that you plan on doing?
I mean, yeah, we did a lot of work together. And I feel like it's weird to just jump ship, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's good. It's good for me to know. And I know that you shared that, with your previous agent, communication wasn't great. And we can go over that in the meeting. Now, when you had your home previously listed, where were you moving to?
Across town, really. Just need something actually I'm kind of downsizing. I don't really need this big, huge house anymore. So looking for something else that's more manageable for me.
Absolutely, I could understand that. Now, when you say across town, what does that mean?
Well, I work from home, so I can kind of be anywhere. So I'm really looking for something that is affordable, but I still want to be in a community that I really like. Maybe there's things to do nearby. So, you know, and I don't have to drive really, really far to my friends or something. But yeah, so with that, I'm kind of open to different even cities or neighborhoods, but it's kind of more of the community feel where you know, there's cool things to do nearby.
Absolutely. And since you had your home previously on the market, was there any homes that jumped out at you that you maybe were interested in making an offer on, or, you know,
Yeah, but they came and went so fast. You know, I went to see them, I'm like, the next day they were gone or whatever. So that was a bummer.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well, we could talk about that in person. I'd love to just narrow down, you know, picture wise and community wise, what that means to you. And so if you have a list of those homes, we can do that. Now, you said that you were downsizing. How soon do you need to get there? How important that is?
Yeah, it could be any time. Obviously, the longer I'm here, I feel like the more money I spend in utilities and just the time it takes to, you know, clean this huge place and the yard work and all of that. I'm just done with all of that. So anytime, I suppose the sooner the better.
Okay. And what happens if your home doesn't end up selling in that required amount of time?
I guess I try again later.
Okay. I can understand that. Absolutely. And what is downsizing going to do for your family?
Well, it's just me now. So for me, it will free me up from all this yard work that I hate, and you know, kind of let me pick my very own thing. My kids are grown and gone, and so this will be the first time that it'll just be me. And I'm kind of ready. There's cool new space that's all my own. But I also want space for like when friends and family come to visit and stuff. So definitely need like a guest room and stuff like that.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So tell me, in your current home, what's missing besides the size?
What's missing? Probably, you know, I would love to be closer where I can go on walks, you know, and trails nearby. I don't really have anything like that now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Closer
and
coffee shops.
Yeah, I love that. Walking distance. Yeah. Have you done any upgrades to your home?
Yeah, actually I did a couple of years ago, but it's, you know, nothing major, just more cosmetic stuff.
Awesome. And I'm looking at the pictures online because obviously you had it listed previously. What do you feel wasn't shown in that marketing?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't really know why it didn't sell right.
Okay. Well, we can get into detail on that. Not a problem. And if you were going to rate your home on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate it?
I'm going to rate my current home?
Yep.
Like how much I love it, or how much I think what a great house it is?
How much you love it?
Mean, I would say a 10. I think it's an awesome house for the right family.
Awesome. I love it. And what do you currently owe on your mortgage?
Oh, shoot. You know, I need to look that up. I think it's somewhere around blah, 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 150.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. It's been a while since I looked at it.
Yeah, not a problem. And when you had your home previously listed, do you feel that list price was adequate to what was selling in the neighborhood?
You know, I don't know. I didn't, like, my agent didn't really discuss that with me very much.
I can understand that. That's
Throwing
not
you
the
a
first
bone
time
there.
I've heard that. Yeah. So I'm assuming they just went ahead and picked the price and you said, okay, that sounds great. And
I figured they knew what they were talking about. So
I understand that. Now I know you had it listed about 450. Is that the price that you wouldn't go below, or what price is your bottom dollar?
I mean, I don't know. I really kind of want to understand the market more and understand like what houses are selling for around my neighborhood. I don't really know what's fair.
I can understand that. And are you up to date on all your payments?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And I know you said you're the sole owner
Yep.
of that. Awesome. Now, this question is really important to me and my team. What are going to be the top 3 things you look for in your next real estate agent?
Honesty.
Okay.
And then I would say like expert knowledge.
Okay.
And just really I feel a good vibe with that person. You know, I feel like I can really connect, and I feel like they're really on my side and they're not just being pushy and salesy to me. I really want to, do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yep. And when you say honesty, what does that mean to you?
That they're not afraid to tell me bad news, or that they're, they're not trying, they don't just tell me stuff just to try to get me to say yes, but they tell me the truth, and even if it's tough to hear.
Okay. I love that. Absolutely. And that's really important to me in a relationship too, because we don't know what to fix, right? Or gauge if we're not being honest with each other. And I would hope that we could build a relationship where you would do that same with me. Well, that's awesome. So we have our appointment Thursday at 5 o'clock. What's going to happen is I'm actually going to drop off a seller's guide on your front porch. You don't have to be home. It'll just be in a nice little teal bag. If you can go ahead and review that prior to our meeting, that's just going to go over what our team does, how we set ourselves apart in the market. And then we'll go over that in a little bit more detail at that time of that appointment. So okay. Do you have any other questions besides what we went over?
I mean, yeah, and I know we don't need to talk about today, but the thing that confuses me the most really is like timing of selling and then buying. Like that scares me. I don't understand how you buy and sell at the same time, or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. And were you pre-approved for a mortgage prior to when you had it listed?
Yeah.
Okay. Who were you working with?
I don't know, blah, blah, blah.
ABC Mortgage, got it. Awesome. And were you pleased with that process?
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
Awesome. Yep. Okay, so besides timing of selling and buying, is there anything else that will be important for us to cover in that meeting?
I don't know. I guess I would just want to see how you might do things different than my previous agent did.
Absolutely. And you'll see a lot of that in our seller's guide that we drop by. And I know that you said that you were interviewing other agents, and one of the other things we'll talk about is sometimes our meetings are brief because they're about an hour to go over everything. But for some reason, if you hear something that another agent does that maybe we didn't discuss, I would just hope that we get that opportunity. I know you said honesty is important, so connect those 2 pieces and see if that's something that we do as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, I'll see you Thursday at 5. And like I said, we'll get you that seller's guide out there. And this is my cell phone, so feel free to text or email me any questions in the meantime. And if there's a house that pops up that you want to go take a look at, I'm here to help.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely, Susan. Well, thank you so much. You have a great day.
Thanks. See you soon.
Bye. Okay. Super simple, easy. Any feedback?
What's a seller's guide, and like where do we get those?
I am going to show you guys. Yep, that's going to be the next part of the class that we go over. So it's our listing presentation booklet that we drop off prior to meeting with them. So I will send you guys out a copy of that. We drop it off at their front porch in a little COVID bag because obviously people are worried about those things these days. And then I just have them review it because it's going to give me my time back, right? Like I'm going to know their personality type too. If I go there and say, hey, Susan, did you read that? Did you get a chance to look over it? And she's got it all highlighted and says, yes, I have questions about this, this, and this. Well, what kind of personality is it? Or, oh, I skimmed it. The pictures are cute. Or no, I didn't get the chance to look at it. Just tell me what my bottom line is, whatever. I'm going to have a good idea.
So that was one of the questions that I wrote down. You said you're going to drop off a seller's guide versus emailing it, right?
Yep.
So is that why? Because someone's more apt to look at it in front of them?
It also
is
my agents out looking at the neighborhood too.
That's what I
that's
figured
something
too.
that you don't think about in comps is that I can see everything on a picture and maybe Google Earth it, but I want them to drive the neighborhood.
Yeah, and it makes you drive the neighborhood.
Yep.
I forget who in our office, they had a magazine printed from Oregon all about their like for their seller guide that they drop off too. So there's different ways that people have created their seller guides that they drop off.
Yep. There's a really well-known agent in Maple Valley. His is a video. He drops off a CD for them to watch. So to each their own.
When you print out your seller's guide, do you just go to like Kinko's, or do you do it yourself, or is there a preferred printer?
Office Depot, we get a discount there. So I don't know how we sign up with that. I think it's just a card now that you can get a code with KW, and we print them there. They're about $5.80 per print job.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're not dropping those off unless we know that they're motivated, ready to go, and it's someone, you know, based on a CMA that I want to meet with.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other ahas or questions about that?
I liked how you let her do a lot of the talking. And when you talked about like going across town, like what does that mean to you? What's that gonna do for you and your family? So you kind of like went more in depth with the question. I like that.
Yeah, also like I liked your question about what's missing like in the home you live in today. What's missing, and then what is downsizing going to do for your family? Just stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you were digging for more motivation than just what she said her motivation was, right? And so, or you're trying to get her to, you know, maybe to go with you instead of her previous agent, right? And so you're like, who are you working with? What did you like that process? Because then you can give more info or show how you're different than that person.
Yeah. And I think the most important thing is I know exactly how to hit her now for an appointment, right? Like I'm going to go over my communication style. I'm going to go over how the timing of the selling and buying process is. I'm going to show them how we price properties. I'm going to vibe with her. So she said that she liked coffee and going on walks. So, you know, I might call her that morning of and say, hey, or that evening, hey, I'm going to drop by. Do you want me to stop by your favorite coffee shop and grab something? Or, you know, maybe dug a little deeper to what her favorite coffee shop was and maybe brought a gift card for her or something to set myself apart.
That would earn huge points. Huge points. Yeah. I could tell that even though I was watching, but even over the phone, I would be able to tell that you are literally writing down my answers, which would make me feel heard, and that you know, do you think most agents do that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking like if I had in this scenario, if I had a previous agent that I didn't feel gave me enough information or really, you know, right? And now I can tell you're actually writing down my answers. To me, that would have been a huge plus right then.
Awesome. Any other, Ashley? You came off.
Yeah. Something that I really liked that it kind of like hit me was like when you were asking, you know, what would downsizing do for your family? Like just, it's almost like getting them to think about the why behind their decision, outside of just like that general, like hitting your LP mama script and being like, what's your motivation? They're like, to be closer to work. Why? Like, why do you want to be closer to work? What would that extra time do for you? You know what I mean? And keeping them in that emotional state, I think is and that's like, they'll remember that because they're like understanding their why or talking about what's important to them, and they'll anchor that to you. So those conversations with you, it shows like you care, that you're trying to understand. So I think that's something I'm going to add into my script, is those building off those. That's what I love about scripting. You have your frame, but you get to, once you master your frame, you get to add these like little branches off of your frame that help, you know, kind of create this big picture. So that was really beneficial to me. So I'm going to add that to my practice. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I think
I have a question. So you had asked her after her previous listing what was missing, but you asked her how would you rate your house, like on a scale of 1 to 10. So does that gauge like her level of holding on to her current home, or what's like what are you getting at with that one?
Most people don't say a 10. So that definitely threw me off. My next question, what would make it a 10? So I already asked her what was missing in her current home, but most people will say like, oh, it's a 7 because the kitchen isn't updated, or I'm trying to figure out why the home didn't sell without asking her why the home didn't sell, or, you know, what would they do to stay there? You know, they want to do a kitchen improvement, the bathrooms, oh, the carpet's out of date. You know what I mean? You hear all those things that they're not going to tell you if you just ask them in a way. So I want to get that nitty gritty. So when I run comps, I can know.
Okay.
Yep. Well, we've had 5 dogs in the house and it smells. Okay, awesome. You know what I mean? Like I want to know what I'm walking into. You're going to
Yeah.
get those answers
Okay.
typically on that question. Okay, any more feedback on that? We have.
Yeah, I liked your space in between questions. Like a little bit of time instead of just spitting them right out. Like Susan had said, it really looked like you were actually writing down. It seemed like you were actually writing down her answers, like how she was responding to you. So it was just kind of relaxed instead of being pushy and just one question after the other.
That's a skill because I'm a high D like Ashley, like I'm 100% high D. So if I don't write things down, I will bulldog over you. That's just that's who I am. So I have to like write down, reiterate, okay, so what I'm hearing you say is this, like, you know, otherwise those pauses will not be in there and I'll just keep asking. And then the relationship sometimes doesn't get built. I've noticed in my past. So that's where writing that down gives me the permission to have some of those awkward silences for them to continue to talk and think.
That's what I do too. It makes me slow down so they can talk.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, I will send you guys that blue sheet. So having a seller's guide, let me go into your guys's next thing. Another thing in your guys's toolkit is the preview home. Let me show you. That's in there. So you have this preview home form as well. So this is going to be really nice. I use a listing input sheet just because I'm already out there. It's easier for me. But this is a great tool for you when you're out there and walking the property to get all the information that you need. So that way you can put it in. I just prefer the listing input. It's what you're going to use to put in the listing. I would get more comfortable with that, but this is a tool in case you're not comfortable with that. And then here are some guides. So I'm going to show you guys our seller's guide really quick. So you guys can kind of get, see what I'm talking about when it comes to that. This went by really fast today. There are seller guides in your KW. So I highly recommend hopping into those tech classes and command classes because you literally have a plug and play one that you can use. But this is ours. We copied ours off of Ben Kenny. If you guys don't know who he is, he's the #1 agent in Washington and I think #1 across all. Let me pull this up. Share my screen again. See you guys in the chat bar. Hold on. Okay, so this is our seller's guide. This is what we drop off. So it just goes over who we are, what our mission, vision, values are, a little bit about myself. I'm not in production anymore. I just lead the team. So it talks a little bit about who I am, who we are as a company, about our team. I'll send this out to you guys. I'm just giving it really quick. About houses that we've sold, the average agent, why that's beneficial to them, the transactions we've done over time, what our update information is. So this talks about, you know, if communication wasn't great with her previous agent, she's already going to know our communication standards, what we do on the team, how we price properties, so that when we go over now, I'm going to be honest, you can't really find 555 right now. So that's something that we discuss when we're there. And our marketing, how to get your house prepared, how houses sell, things that we do.
I have a question.
And then a little bit about who we are as far as testimonials and what we give back in. So I'll send that out to you guys. Yes.
So I'm a newer agent and I don't have that many transactions completed. And so on your first few pages, it shows like, you know, what you've done in the past. So I don't really want to put that I've only done like a few. And if they ask me about that, then kind of awkward.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. You can just put the office's statistics in there.
Okay.
Yep. So I would use the office's like list to sale price ratio, those types of things. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Did you say
Okay.
that selling? Sorry, real quick. Did you say that selling guide is kind of customizable? It's like a template, so teams can kind of go in there and put in their own data. Or do you have to
Ours
kind of-
is ours was made by my admin, but there is one on command that you can customize.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And I will get you guys that link. I have to take notes, otherwise, Lord knows I'm not going to remember. Seller's guide. Okay, let's go over what's an action item that you're going to take from this class and go implement it right now. So I'm going to start, let's see on my screen. I have Amanda. Amanda, what's one thing that you can do? I know as a buyer's agent, do you have a listing goal to bring to the team?
I don't, but I should.
Okay.
But for me, like scripts are really important. And so it's just like mastering those. And then like yesterday we had the buyer scripts and I kind of went through and made it my own. And so to do that with this, I think would be really important because, a lot of people that are buying are also need to sell their first home as well. So you got to know both sides.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for
Yep.
me, it's just going through those and over in different scenarios and stuff like that.
Yep. The best buyers right now are ones that need to sell in order to move up because that price point is a little bit easier to work with.
Yeah,
Those
that-
first time home buyers right now, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Ashley, what's one thing you're going to take to your business?
I'm going to be adding in those like deepening questions into my like LP Mama frame, just to kind of get a little bit more of an idea of exactly like what I need to be looking for as far as like their motivations.
I love it. Have a great meeting. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Danielle, what are you going to do and take into your next?
I have two things. So scripting and, practicing all the questions and knowing rebuttals and stuff like that. But the one thing that I'm going to challenge myself to and dedicate myself to doing is getting CMAs out. Like my goal, I'm going to start with is 1 CMA a day, but I'd like to get 5 out a day to start generating seller leads.
I love it. Okay. I like it. What did you do before real estate?
Before property management.
Oh yeah, okay. You said that.
Yeah, so I did property management for 2 years. I sold commercial recycling services with Republic Services for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So get on those phones, girl.
It's been 10 years since I've gotten on phones. So yeah, I mean,
Facebook Messenger is a great way to get in front of people. I feel like I get more conversion on doing social media with that than anything else. So don't be
yeah,
afraid.
and that's what I've been doing a lot is just commenting on people's things, but private messaging them too. But I need to call.
You can do that. I believe in you.
Great.
I'm gonna trust in you.
It's been a long time.
You'll be fine. Susan, what did you take from class? What are you going to implement?
I need to work on my script and I need to start calling. I'm not really good at doing my, was it the 410?
Okay. Yeah. 10-4. Yeah.
So I really need to work on that.
Okay. So could you make a goal of calling 2 people a day right now?
Yes, I think I'm going to start there.
Perfect. So 2 people a day. I love it. Building consistency, getting 1% better every day. You'll be 67% better at the end of the year. I don't really know how that calculation works, but I saw it in a book one time called it. So
Because I took one of the classes, I think it was Bold, and they make you do it every day and have a partner that you check in with. And so I was really consistent doing that, but then after it ended, I kind of just fell off.
So find an accountability partner too. Do you have a mentor?
No. Well, I did have Kristen, but I don't know if, because I've used her for the past 3 transactions.
Oh,
And so,
okay.
yeah. And
Well,
then I
connect
don't.
with Ryan. Yeah. See if Ryan has someone, Munson has someone that you can be an accountability partner with, because I'm sure there's people that would love to do that.
Okay.
Yep. Okie dokie. Ed, what are you going to take from class?
I've got a ton here, but I won't take everyone's time. I'll just pick two. So I really like the idea of having that landing page to kind of combine with our online campaigns to collect CMA leads, folks that need to have home evaluations. And then the other one, of course, is the selling guide. I think that's fantastic. And kind of the marketing lead behind tell about why we're different. That's great.
Absolutely. I love it. Hey, Susan?
I have a bunch too. I really like the seller's guide, but definitely script practice is top of the list.
Love it. Yeah, that pre-qualifying, I'm going to send you guys. It's literally, this is what color it is. This is what I wrote her things on. It's blue. I think that's what I did. And then I just fill it out and then I send it to the team when I want a CMA, or, now I can pull that. Our team's a little bit different. I have someone that does that for us, but they're hot and ready to go no matter where I'm at. And they've been like that for 10 years. That's something that I just started from the beginning doing. Okay, Laura?
Well, definitely the script practice and questions is number one for me. And also I want to get some equity reports out, a couple CMAs, even just to, I think first with equity reports, just friends I know that own homes and say, hey, can I send you an equity report? I'm trying to practice with this technology, and I'm sure they'd be like, oh, great, and then printing out like the preview check sheet, or like the listing sheet, just what was that? Was it the preview check sheet? Is that what you called it?
Yeah, there's a preview one and there's a listing input sheet.
Okay, yeah.
That's on the MLS, yeah, that you'll use. It's exactly how you put a listing into the MLS. So that's why I use it, because the more you get comfortable with that and taking notes on it, the better it is for you to know to input it when that time comes.
I think the MLS one is really good too, because then you don't miss something new that the MLS adds.
Yep, that's a great point too.
And you can probably copy a lot of like the building materials and stuff. You can kind of copy from maybe a previous listing, or it's already there.
Yep, exactly. I love all of that. Okay, Esther, you're last. What's the
I know,
one thing
it's kind of ditto for everything, right? I mean, the big one for me is I really have to schedule scripting and really do that. And the other one is just having the forms out and ready to go so that I can write things down.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I love what you said, Laura, too. That's a great one too. Is my thought. I once a month will post on my social media, hey, training a new agent, or just got an update to our system. Who wants me to run a CMA or an equity report? Call it equity report on your property. Reach out to me, and we'll get like 6 or 7 people that want one, and end up getting like one listing out of it every single time. I have a ton of Facebook friends, so it's a little bit different, but I think, doing that and building that consistency once a month, everyone wants to know what their home is worth. Zillow wouldn't be around if they didn't, so. Okay, well, it is 1 minute to 11. I will let you guys go early. I am going to email you all this information that I had. Hopefully you guys can take that and run with it and get some listings. So I'll look forward to hearing if you guys got any in the next month.
It was awesome, Nicole.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.